Good morning. Welcome to the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, October 31st, 2023. I am the chair, Krista Yoakum. To my right is Vice Chair Commissioner Sean Flowerday. To my far right, Commissioner Roma Amundson. To my left is Commissioner Rick Vest. And to my far left, Commissioner Matt Schulte. Please rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance with us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Clerk, you may start the announcements.
Location announcement of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act. A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located at the wall of the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, all written material to be discussed at today's open meeting is available for electronic viewing from the county clerk's staff. Printing options are available upon request. These materials can also be viewed at the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Brings us to item 1, minutes. Approval of the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held on October 24th, 2023.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yep.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yoakum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 2, claims. 2A, approval of the claims processed through October 31st, 2023.
Move approval of the claims?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the claims. Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yoakum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 3, consent items. These are routine business items that are expected to be adopted without dissent. Any individual item may be removed for special discussion and consideration by a commissioner or by any member of the public without prior notice. Unless there is an exception, these items will be approved as one single vote of the Board of Commissioners. These items are the approval of A, amendments to the following county contracts. C-21-0684 with Herman Miller Incorporated to allow for purchases from the lead contract for furniture, installation, and related products and services. C-21-06666 with U.S. Bank Automatic Clearinghouse, ACH, processing service. C-23-0414 with W.W. Granger for facility MRO, industrial, and building-related supplies and equipment. B, right-of-way contracts with the following: Elton C. and Norma J. Long, South 68th Street and Whitstruck Road, in the amount of $392.50. Estate of Olga Katow, Southwest 86th Street and West Panama Road, in the amount of $1,855. Lynn Wiedemann Revocable Trust, Southwest 29th Street and West Panama Road, in the amount of $1,180. Kylie L. and Kayshawn E. Ward, Northwest 12th Street and West Bluff Road, in the amount of $1,180. Jeffrey S. Earl, South 176th Street and A Street, in the amount of $392.50. C, change order number 1 to county contract C-23-0573 with Votscapes Incorporated for plan revision of County Bridge S-180. D, utility permits allowing Bauer Underground to under project management for JEO Consulting Group Incorporated to install underground ductwork for future installation of communication cable for ARPA Broadband Phase 3. These are 2445 Run 4, 2446 Run 5, 2447 Run 6, and 2448 Run 7. And finally, E, receive and place and file the County Treasurer's Report for the 2022 distress warrants as of October 24th, 2023.
Move approval of the consent items?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent items. Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Best,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yoakum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Brings us to item 4, our public hearing. A public hearing on the applications for Class I liquor license for Stars Raymano's Pizzeria and Bakery, LLC, at 5580 West Mill Road, Suite 4 in Raymond, and a corporate manager's liquor license for Kaylee Starr.
We will now open the public hearing. for this Class I liquor license application. Is there anyone present to speak on this item? Is there anyone present to speak regarding the Class I liquor license for Stars Romano Pizzeria and Bakery? Please come forward. No, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. Your timing is perfect, except it doesn't allow you a minute to catch your breath.
I was gonna say,
good.
if you need a
By the
minute,
time I asked where
Yeah,
I needed
no,
to go,
this
he
is
was like,
fine.
"You need to go next door." I was like, "No."
So we'd like for you to just, yeah.
Me
you'll
to
have
swear you in.
Swear in.
Okay.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And you'll need to state your name.
Kaylee Starr.
And then we'd like to just hear about why you're doing this application.
I took over Romano's Pizza Plus in Raymond, and they had beer, and the locals liked their beer.
And it goes with pizza.
So I'm just carrying on what they had set forth for the last 23 years. So
So it's not an expansion of services, nothing's being done differently, you're just taking over.
correct.
And so,
Yep.
And you're not changing the pizza recipe.
No.
And have you had a liquor license before? Have you
No,
worked in
ma'am.
this industry?
Nope. First time.
when did you take over?
August 1st. Thank you.
Great place.
Thank you. Yeah, Mary Benish and Jean ran it so well for the last 23 years, so they're passing on the baton, and I was happy to be that person.
very good.
No.
It's great to have a restaurant around that's been around that long, because so many have come and gone from
Yeah.
that area. Any other questions?
No,
Good,
it's
I
the
don't see
fact
I
any.
mean,
that-
the
fact that-
application is all in order, so,
And the fact that nothing's changing.
Exactly.
Other than the ownership.
Right.
I think makes it easy.
yep. Well, we thank you for your time. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming today.
Thank you so much.
Is there anyone else here wishing to speak regarding this liquor license?
I would speak in favor of it, probably not appropriate.
Seeing none, we'll now close the public hearing.
That brings us to item 5, new business. Item 5A, the resolution in the matter of a Class I liquor license for Stars Romano's Pizzeria and Bakery LLC and corporate manager's liquor license for Kaylee Starr.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve this liquor license. Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Best,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Brings us to 5B, a lease agreement with Allo Infrastructure Holdco LLC, granting Allo a 25-year non-exclusive right of entry and lease space in the county broadband conduit systems for purposes of deploying of fiber-based services to residents and businesses throughout Lancaster County.
Good morning, Commissioners. Candace Behrens from the Lancaster County Attorney's Office. We're excited to bring this agreement before you this morning. It's a lease agreement with Allo. I'll just kind of bring out some of the major points in the agreement. And if you have any questions about that, and any technical questions especially, Abby Ecker is here and can answer those. So Allo's going to be given the non-exclusive right to install fiber optic cable in a single interduct throughout the county broadband conduit system. The lease is for 25 years, non-exclusive in that other service providers can also sign leases to occupy other interducts in the system. The monthly access fee that Allo will be paying to the county will be based on Allo's gross revenue, and it'll be tiered based on the highest revenue reached by Allo each month. And there's a definition of how the determination of gross revenue is reached. Allo is going to submit a project plan and schedule for deployment of its fiber once this lease agreement is signed. Allo states that it intends to deploy fiber within 120 days of substantial completion of the applicable section of conduit by the county. So that'll be worked out. Allo is also going to provide services to county government locations on Exhibit D. I think you have a hard copy of the agreement if you want to see those locations. And Allo will be given dollar for dollar in-kind credits for those services, and that'll be based on standard rating that Allo charges to customers. And that'll be taken off of the monthly access fee. In terms of what kind of services, they exceed the what's required by ARPA in terms of when you're funding projects and the kind of quality and service that is given to underserved areas. They're going to provide not less than 500 Mbps.
Oh, sure.
Download speeds and 500 Mbps upload speeds. So high quality internet to those underserved locations. And again, if you have any questions about the lease agreement, I can help answer those. Technical questions for Abby, obviously. And we are excited to bring the agreement to you
I think we're
today.
excited to see this, certainly.
This is a long time coming, and I know everybody from the county attorney's office, Abby's team, Abby, Don, Dave has done yeoman's work on this, so I really want to thank the staff for the amount of, this was a heavy lift, and I'm happy to be where we're at. Thank you all. And thank you to Allo, too.
Right.
This
What a-
is
what a good service.
And great partners as we've gone through this, so thank you.
That was one of the things, this really is a fantastic accomplishment. I remember going to NACO meetings back at the National NACO, back in 2015 and 2016, and, you know, they were talking about getting broadband across the nation and getting, this is just super. So, I mean, it's a long time coming, and it's been a dream.
Oh, and Lancaster County, you know, we've actually frankly, we put our money where our mouth is, right?
Yes.
We're actually doing rural fiber. We're really, truly doing rural fiber. I'm
Yes.
really excited about this, so.
And the investment we made was certainly to the infrastructure of Lancaster County, and to be able to provide a high-quality service like this is fantastic.
I have a couple of questions just about the contract, first of all. So you mentioned the credits a minute ago. The contract refers to them as CNET site or CNET credits or something. Yeah, CNET credits.
Yes.
So can you just help me understand how that is calculated? Or is it a flat fee? Because all the examples give the same flat example of 25,000.
Well, the examples are just to show how the in-kind dollar-for-dollar credits are going to work. And they're based on Allo's rates.
Okay. Rates for, I mean, I know they've got all different types of rates for residential, commercial. I mean, so does it, I mean, because some of these sites, some of these shops have very few computers and stuff in them. So I'm just curious a little bit more how that might be calculated, for example, for the Panama site, stuff like that.
Well, I'm not sure about the Panama site
Okay.
specifically, so if Allo would like, Allo's here also, and so is Abby, she can answer that question.
Sure.
But they're based on the retail rates,
Okay,
you know,
so just based
of
on
what,
retail rates.
of the services that are provided
it.
to each location.
And there's also, I mean, we also need to get into those sites and see what IS needs to do before we would, I mean, really understand. So even though there might be a few computers in one site right now, we may still need to do building upgrades and things like that with the wireless, which my team is prepared to do.
On the, when it refers to the C sites, you know, there's this map that shows all the different locations. Some of the locations are in Lincoln, and I presume we're already getting service from Allo at those locations. So are we currently paying that out, and then now it's gonna just transfer to where that's a credit on this?
Can you direct me to which site you're referring to,
So
Commissioner?
like on the map, site 15, 10, 16,
17.
17, 18, 19.
Okay.
There will
Right
be
on
some
Exhibit D.
examples.
Exhibit D, Commissioner, is that correct?
Yeah,
At
that's,
the bottom here.
yeah,
The
exhibit D.
1G requested kind of locations.
Okay. So so again, Don Ferris has been a big part of preparing that list. My team checked that to make sure that there are no pre-existing connections to those sites.
So we don't have Allo service at those sites right now?
Not to my knowledge,
Okay,
but I can follow up on that question as well.
yeah, so, I mean, because I know we've got internet for sure at 15, so I'm just, like I said, I'm just trying to figure out, like,
Okay.
are we moving this from currently, this is a pay out, to now this is just a credit under this contract? Are we gonna replace some other service?
Commissioner, could you again point me to which
I'll
site
just
you're
say
referring to?
15, which I believe to
15 's
be
this
the
building.
youth services
Okay.
center.
Oh, is that you services?
That's what I,
Yeah, you're right, it is.
Okay.
So
So, go ahead.
the lease agreement addresses use of the conduit system. So that's the main point. So if we're going to be providing services through the conduit system, those are the applicable sections.
I guess I understand that, but it's specifically listing all these C sites as a credit. I'm just trying to figure out, like, are we gonna have some savings because we're no longer gonna pay for internet to site 15?
So the question, if I may.
Yeah, please help me.
Yeah, the question, let's just use 15, which we believe is a user.
It is, yeah.
Are we currently paying someone for internet now? If so, then we will no longer need to make a payment. It'll simply be a credit. And maybe you know, I don't know if you know every
Right.
internet provider contract in Lancaster County, but I think that's,
Sure.
will it become a non-payment and now a credit towards what Allo owes us, or do you, if you know?
Sure. Commissioner, if I could follow up on that question,
Yeah.
that would be helpful. We do have some buildings within this list that either have minimal that may have minimal connectivity, and we need to provide better services to those facilities so that we can operate as we expect to. But I would like for the team to give you a thorough answer to that question.
Well, I know there's some of these sites that don't have connectivity at all.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
some of the county engineering shops aren't even lit up right now, so,
Right.
And
at all. So this is
that's
gonna
great to
finally
hear.
bring service to them. Yep.
And I mean, I don't know if we want to put this up, but just to follow up with that, Abby, you know, it's going to go to county engineering maintenance shops and facilities, but are there other benefits that Lancaster County is going to see because of maybe other departments or other services that we'll see improve as a result of having this in the county?
Yeah, I think so. So we have a couple of locations on here that aren't facilities that somebody would work in per se, but are facilities where we certainly need the connectivity. My team was very deliberate in reaching out to departments to make sure that if there were any sites that were on the so-called wireless wish list for us to go in and upgrade, that we were paying attention to those and making sure that we considered those and contemplated them in this agreement.
You want to talk, I've had some conversations about like the implications for law enforcement here. Would you, yeah,
Sure. So fueling stations are one in which we want to have a connection. This team has, of course, put a lot of work into our CGIS project. Having the ability to upload data from those sites allows us to keep folks on the streets rather than needing to come back into the shop all the time to do the downloads and do the uploads that do take quite a bit of connected bandwidth. So very excited about that. I think it's a great opportunity too for our we of course have our emergency management teams who, you know, can now leverage a little bit more. There are certainly grant opportunities in the future that I think will contemplate also this investment and really just this focus on, you know, making sure these locations are connected. It just makes sense for the county.
And I think that one of the things too, and we had this conversation before, specifically about some of the rural fire departments.
Of course.
You know, and I think that it is so important for them to have that too. It really does assist with the mutual aid.
Of course.
So there's more benefits than just going into the homes and businesses throughout the county. Our departments, you know, if our sheriff's deputies are able to stay in the field as opposed to returning to headquarters to download their information, that's a tremendous service to the rural residents. I just wanted to add one comment, if I may. One of the first presentations I saw at a NACO event was the challenge of in December of 2019, the challenge of
Remember that?
broadband throughout rural America. And I thought, that sounds impossible. How will we ever do that? And here we are sitting here today, the residents in Kramer, the residents in Davie, our friends throughout the county are now going to have access provided by a high-quality carrier that's going to be equal to what our residents in Lincoln have, and I think that's a tremendous achievement for our county. So I just echo the other commissioners' thank you to everybody who's worked so hard to bring this together, and thank you for answering to all those people that I was peppering with questions in the last 24 hours. Thank you for your patience and expertise.
Actually, I still have just a couple more questions I was hoping to get. So we talked about from that document, number 15, which is the Youth Service Center. Number 17, I believe, is the Extension Office, but, so that doesn't include internet access for this building. Is that correct? That's, that, I mean, it's not at least marked on the exhibits. So is that
JBC?
credit?
I guess I'm not sure what you're pointing at, Commissioner. I apologize.
We pay for internet for this building, and if this building, I mean, all the other sites are being.
That's probably through JVC.
I was gonna say, it's not a Lancaster site. This building is not per se a Lancaster County site.
Okay.
And I can research that question for you, Commissioner.
Then I guess my other question was about the completion date. You had mentioned a minute ago about that you had said that they intend to install. Can you just help me understand the 120 calendar day? Like, when does that start? Is it per quadrant? Is it as the whole project is done? Like,
So they'll have a project plan drawn up of locations and where they would be pulling fiber in the conduit. And then once that portion of conduit is substantially complete, that's just a construction term, once it's built and able to be occupied, then that's when the 120 days starts. It's their plan, and it's our way of saying, okay, once this agreement is signed and we've built the conduit, how soon are you going to get in there and then generate those access fees?
And
So,
they
like-
have a financial incentive too to get it turned on as
Right.
quickly
Oh,
as
yeah, I
possible.
totally get
I mean, they don't start making their money until service is being provided.
well, that's part of why I'm just trying to make sure I understand. Like, so right now, if the southwest quadrant, I mean, just help me understand from the contract. If the southwest quadrant is, whatever the term was, complete, whatever exact term was, could they start installing in 120 days, or do they have to wait till the whole county is done?
No, we can go as each portion is substantially complete.
I think they're going to be pulling fiber. I think about the moment we start citing this, crews start going
Right.
out to pull fiber pretty soon, anyways.
Right.
Well, that was gonna be my next question. So where are we, like, for example, with the southwest? Are we at that completion date yet for the southwest quadrant?
The southwest quadrant, I think the substantial completion date was sometime back in September.
Okay.
Yeah, the southwest quadrant is.
So what's the whole for the, I mean, just walk me through the next quadrants or the entire county. Like, when do we expect the substantial completion date to be done for the whole county? Or is those other quadrants?
Are you prepared to speak to that? Because it's not about the contract, that information, unless you have it in your head.
I can.
Okay.
You'd be surprised how much fits in my head these days. I believe our last quadrant, and they may switch. I believe the final completion date is roughly in late December,
Okay.
and that's not accounting for weather or anything like that. But again, we could give you a formal briefing from the team. We also expect to, when Don gets back, to give the board a next step update on the construction project.
So that would mean, just walk that out a little further, let's just say we can hit that end of December. So January 1 starts a 120-day clock where they have the opportunity, potentially, fiber could be pulled in the conduit to the whole county. That's not to people's front door necessarily, by March, right? 120 days, January, February, March.
I apologize. I'm not clear on what your question is, Commissioner.
If
Yeah, I
the
think
hun- if
I
the
mean, I think
100
you're right. I think the timeline you're laying out is correct.
I'm just trying to figure out, because I know I'm gonna get asked, okay, you approved the contract, when can I get internet?
Right.
And that's what I just wanna make sure I have the answer to be able to say, well, it looks like by March, everybody will at least be in your area. May not be at your front door yet, but that's what I'm just trying to figure out, so.
Of course.
Yeah. And, it could easily be sooner than that too. I mean, Allo has a financial
Certain
incentive to get
areas.
this out as quick as possible.
The one that's gonna be the last.
I know. It's-
Northwest.
I
don't
know.
how the chair let that happen, but I'd just reiterate, big day. I mean, it's a big day. And
Been working on this one for a while.
This is amazing.
Thank you all for your support. I really appreciate it, and it shows. I have peers all over the country who, see the headline and say, "What in the world are you doing in Lancaster County?" And it's amazing to see just how excited people get about this project when they know what it is. It's amazing how many pieces came together, and I genuinely appreciate not only your interest in this project, but every other project, and just how involved you all have been in helping helping the county be successful. Thank you very much.
Sean, don't we owe Allo a thank you here?
Oh.
When they're in the room, and they've certainly
Yes.
been in the room, and obviously the whole project was dependent on someone stepping up.
And-
We're not broadband.
And we ended up
providers.
with one of, if not the premier provider in the community. They're Gold Star employer veterans, I know. And Allo have been just great partners in all this, so thank you very much.
Yeah, without Allo, we would not be sitting in this position and be considered, one of the most exceptional counties in the country when we're done here, so.
Just want to give them a round of applause.
So with that,
There's a lot of people
I
in the room
would
there.
move approval of the lease agreement.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve this contract. Are there any further questions or discussion? Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Absolutely, yes.
Yocum.
Yes,
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you all very much.
very good.
Thank
This is
you.
good work.
Commissioners, the next item is item 5C, a resolution to strike from the tax list certain distress warrants listed as uncollectible by the county treasurer and submitted to the board.
Good morning, Rachel Garver, Lancaster County Treasurer. Before you is the list of property, personal property that could not be collected from the sheriff goes out and collects. There was 11 pieces of the personal property for little under $33,000, and mobile homes.
I was going to say, is this the mobile home issue?
Well, the second group, 35 of them are mobile homes for about $7,600 that couldn't be collected. And we're asking for them to be stricken. It's all part of in statute. And if for some reason somebody comes in to pay, we have the information and we can put it back on the books and take the
Right,
money.
Right. And we had a bill on the mobile home issue last year in session. This is really a pretty onerous burden on the county treasurer's office, because we tax mobile homes as if they were like, a house, just a house with a street address but if someone doesn't want to pay, they can just literally hitch the mobile home up and leave with it. Treasurer's office can't necessarily find them to collect said taxes, or the sheriff's office can't find them to collect said taxes. So, I'll move approval of the resolution.
I would second. I would just add that NACO is discussing this
Yeah.
issue. I think the treasurer's probably brought it to the board's attention there. So. Second.
Very good. We have a motion and a second. Seeing no further discussion, please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes?
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes,
Motion carries 5-0. Item 5D, a resolution authorizing Krista Yocum, the county board chairperson of Lancaster County, to sign the 2023 year-end certification of county highway superintendent form.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. Today for Halloween, I'm dressed as a middle-aged woman engineer. I want me to be aware of that. You don't catch me in my construction clothes very often, but it does happen every 2 years. It just doesn't quite work out for me to get into my professional clothes to get down here. This is the annual certification. You may or may not be aware that I'm also required, in addition to having an engineering license, just kind of through an oddity in statute, to have a highway superintendent license. And then because I have a Class A highway superintendent license, the county gets a bonus $11,500 from NDOT. So this is certifying that you have had a licensed highway superintendent in place for the entire year so that we can receive our $11,500 payout.
Move approval.
Second.
we have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes?
Vest,
Yes, for the entire year.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes,
Motion carries 5-0. Item 5E, a recommendation to award a contract to Constructors Incorporated for a paving project on South 98th Street from Old Cheney Road to A Street.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. This is our first of many federal aid contracts. You may notice at the beginning of the agreement that our first agreement was signed with NDOT back in August of 2019. So I feel like I've been speaking to the commissioners for a very long time. And it just didn't really feel like anything existed until we finally got this bid across the finish line. I will note that the bid came in about $750,000 under the engineer's estimate. So we're super excited about that. And with your approval today, we'll be ready to get started on this first thing in the spring.
Well, I think that this is something that's really tremendous in for the people along South 98th Street. And, over the last few years, we have fielded, both you and I have fielded so many questions about when this is going to be paved. And I've seen the muddy roads and the rutted roads and so forth, so this is a great project, and it will be a continuation onto the O Street one, too.
Thank you, Commissioner Amundson. I will also mention that our partners, LTU, will be reimbursing us for some of this project that is within the City of Lincoln's current jurisdiction. In addition to that, we have partnered with Matadol, a local developer, and they will be paying for the intersection improvements at 2 intersections here, because my engineering dream was that we come in, we do this road, and then it not have to be closed right away for additional construction in the area. And so we'll see if this time my dream comes true. It may or may not, because of there's just a ton of development in this area, but I think we have a good chance.
Well, this is a tremendous thing, and I would move approval.
Second.
We usually don't allow multiple love fests in one meeting, but
I know.
this is also an enormous deal. This is a hurdle we've been facing for a long time, and we're finally clearing it. And congratulations to you and your staff.
Thank you. The staff worked really hard on this.
This is really big, too. Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Best,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 5F is requisition request from the county engineer to piggyback off the City of Lincoln's contract with Hoffling Enterprises Incorporated for routine and storm-related wood waste processing service in the total amount of $100,000.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. We talked briefly about this last week, which gave us the ability to piggyback. This is actually the contract going forth to do that. What we're really trying to do is be as absolutely environmentally sensitive as possible. The trees that we're moving from the right-of-way, we stockpile throughout the year. We grind them up. We use that for erosion control after we grind them up. It's very environmentally conscious, and it's just one of those things that makes sense.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Best,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Item 5G, a contract with JJK Construction LLC for replacement of County Bridge C-284. The cost of the county is not to exceed $762,087.41.
Pam Dingman, Lancaster County Engineer. The exhibit that I have put on the board is for a bridge on Agnew Road located just east of North 14th Street. The bid for this project, which was included in our budget, came in about $300,000 lower than the engineer's estimate. We are doing this contract with an incentive-disincentive, so we're hoping the contractor will get in there and just knock this one out of the park. We've had really good luck with this particular contractor finishing projects on time.
What would the potential completion date be according to the contract?
You know, we're hoping that we can get this bridge back open probably by more like September 1st, but there's incentives in the contract to finish it earlier, and then of course disincentives if it takes too long to finish.
So next construction season.
Next construction season, yeah. We, it's 26 degrees this morning, Commissioner Schulte, and I don't have to like the rules, but I do follow them. So concrete is a 35 and rising. Concrete is a thermodynamic process, so there are things you can do, but you really don't want to be doing this type of concrete when it's very, very cold like this. And we're hoping that we can sneak in and get our projects we're already started on complete, but I don't want to start any new ones at this time of year.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a couple of seconds on this one. Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Brings us to 5H. The recommendation from the purchasing agent on behalf of Lancaster County Engineering to award a bid to JMN Construction LLC for the replacement of County Bridge N114. The total cost of the county is $607,209.99.
Lancaster County Engineer Pam Dingman, Bridge N114, we've talked about for a very long time. It has been easily the worst bridge in Lancaster County. It's located on Southwest 91st Street. I almost said 14th Street. Southwest 91st Street, just south of the village of Denton. You may recall that we were able to purchase bridge beams that were surplus at constructors for $1. So I'm super excited about my $1 bridge beams. I'm also super excited that this bid also came in about $300,000 under the engineer's estimate. So giving us a little more room to do a few more things this year.
Move
Very good.
approval.
Second.
Can I just ask my completion date question? Same thing next construction season?
Same thing, next construction season. I mean, it's a little different with those prefab beams that we can drop into place. However, we still do need to form up the bridge abutments for this, which is significant work. I don't want to drop this bridge and risk snow or inclement weather and then not being able to get in and get it open as efficient and as effective as possible.
Well, and those banks on that one are pretty high, I know from.
It's steep.
seeing them.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Brings us to 5I, contracts with the following to provide snow and ice removal from miscellaneous locations within the city of Lincoln. Cost of the county is not to exceed $12,000 for all contracts. The contracts are with Jake's Odd Job Incorporated, K2 Real Estate Development, doing business as K2 Construction, Mr. Yards and More LLC, Silver Ridge Construction Incorporated, and Vasa Construction.
Good morning, Commissioners. Karen Peterson, Director of Facilities and Property. These are our annual snow removal contracts, which normally you had before you about 2 months ago. We purchased and got them out in a timely fashion, and some of our larger vendors have gotten out of the snow removal business. So when you don't have snow, it doesn't make it profitable. So send it back out. So we have a series of 5 contracts, and all our buildings are covered. Looking for approval.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you for
5-0.
making this work.
Item 5J, contracts with the following to provide the annual supply of John Deere filters. The cost of the county is not to exceed $49,000 for both contracts. They are with Acres Equipment Solution and Murphy Tractor and Equipment Co.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve these contracts. Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Brings us to 5K, an interlocal agreement between Lancaster County and Washington County regarding the housing of inmates.
Move approval.
I
Second.
second.
Oh.
I second.
I wasn't trying to blow them up.
We have a motion and a second, but we would love to
Yeah.
hear from you.
Brad Johnson, Director, Lancaster County Department of Corrections. I guess more than anything, I'm just here to answer any questions. This is something we've been working on for quite a while. It took much longer than I anticipated for various reasons, but I mean, we are housing folks there now. This just kind of gets it formalized into a agreement so that everybody understands what expectations are, and I would urge you to approve it.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in supporting it. Just help me understand, because I know we've been doing it for a while. Now we've got the agreement. Are any of the dollar amounts change? I know we've been told dollar amounts before. Is that all still?
Well, under the, what we've been paying is $65 a day. Under this agreement, it goes to $69. In exchange for that, they will start doing 2 transports a week, so we're not transporting them. They'll be doing the vast majority of those transports.
A lot of value in that.
Yeah, there's value in that.
And just give me an example, like, how many people are we currently housing in Washington? Are we talking dozens, hundreds? I mean, just.
No, right now, we're currently just housing females in Washington County, and we've maintained that around about 20. Now, our population, as is typical this time of year, is starting to come down. I'm hoping here pretty soon that maybe we can start pulling that back a little bit. We're trying to, the number we've kind of came up with right now is we would like to stay at 100 or below within our facility. As of today, we have 127 females in custody, so there's 20 in Washington and 107 within our building.
And while this is not ideal for anyone, this is a good response to the population that is currently at the jail, the capacity of the jail, and so that everyone has a comfortable place to be. We're not overcrowding the jail. Thank you for your work on this.
Sure. All right.
Any
Thank
other
you.
questions? We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes,
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Brings us to 5L, a mini grant contract application with the Nebraska Department of Transportation for the County Sheriff's Office to participate in the statewide Buckle Up Every Trip, Every Time mobilization in the amount of $8,040.
Hello, John Vick, Lancaster County Sheriff's Office. This will be another one of our seasonal proactive enforcement initiatives through the state of Nebraska, and the mini grant is just to reimburse overtime for our deputies taking part in that.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
yes,
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 5M, contract with Brown Brothers Construction Incorporated to provide the Lancaster County Sheriff's Office interior remodel. The cost of the county is not to exceed $357,478.
Move approval.
move, second,
We have a motion and a second to approve, and this will be great to get this completed. And seeing no further discussion, please call the roll.
Amundson,
yes,
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 5N is a contract with the American Fence Company of Lincoln to remove and replace parking lot gate arms and operators. The cost of the county is not to exceed $28,537.
Brad Johnson, Director, Lancaster County Department of Corrections. So these are the gate arms that control access into the staff parking area, which have went beyond their useful life. Right now, we can't get parts for them. We've manufactured some different parts to try and keep them going. We've had some issues with them coming down on people's vehicles and stuff. So
Already chopped a couple of cars, right?
yeah, so we've as part of the budget process, we went in and asked to have those replaced, and this is that contract. So
I move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
yes,
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 5O, a memorandum of understandings with the following for unit price of tree pruning and removal services. The cost of the county for collective memorandums of understanding to the county is not to exceed $100,000. They are with the Capital Arborist Tree, CTC Disaster Response Incorporated, and Clug's Tree Service.
Move approval?
We have a motion and a second to approve. Please call the roll.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Schulte,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Brings us to public comment. Those wishing to speak on items related to county business not on the agenda may do so at this time.
Kenneth Anderson, Douglas County. I emailed you just about 3 minutes prior to the beginning of this meeting. So what you'll see is what you've already got. And it is not very clear. So I'm just coming up to clarify it. It has to do with election fraud, election corruption. The first 3 links are all run together here visually speaking, but they have to do with the election fraud in New Jersey around the Paterson, city of Paterson area. And the reason I'm pointing this out is this election fraud is from the general election, or actually primary election out there of from 2020. And they're just now filing new charges for those folks that they had filed charges before. They're filing new ones. And one of those people is currently the president of the city council of Paterson. He wasn't president at the time. He got charged back then in 2020, still got elected to president of the city council. It's indicative of a lack of concern by that city council of the election fraud that this guy committed. You can look at those 3 links and compare them. There's this 3-year delay, and yet the DA, the county attorney, I guess district attorney is what I'm thinking he is, a prosecutor, something like that. His words are kind of strong. Oh, we're filing this, and this proves that we're really going after election corruption, and not. Just want to point out his hypocrisy there of that guy. But this Rumble video is what I want to show you a little bit of. I'm going to jump into the middle of this Rumble video on Rumble. It has to do with Florida election fraud. And I don't mean to play the whole thing for you at all. I just want to sample it, give you a sample of it, so that you understand where the guy's coming from.
You'll see them basically being reactivated and moved to a different part of the state. The next one is reinsertions. These were very strange. These were people that had an older registration date, like for example, they appeared to be registered in 1960s, but all of a sudden they pop into the voter rolls from nowhere and they were never to be found months ahead of time. They only show up on the voter rolls on a single or a few months just to vote, and then they're quickly removed, which leads us to the next one, deletions. Deletions was shocking. We weren't expecting to find it. We knew that deletions were a normal part of the removal process, but the timing and the volume is very suspect, and you'll see here in a little bit what that means. And then the last one is basically what Red Belly Road demonstrated, where people's identities are being stolen because their votes are being, or their addresses are being broken or switched behind their back, leading their ballots most likely to be harvested somewhere and then switched back just in time for the official election to make it appear as if they voted. Here's an example of the reactivation that we have to show you. You're looking at a complicated table that follows one voter. Let's just call them Rabin. You're looking at the dates for their voting records from February 2023 all the way back to April 2023. And as we also have the 2020 general election on file, we put that as well. So you're looking at their address and multiple columns here tracking their data.
It's probably enough of that. That was just a sample, a random place in the video. I didn't arrange for any particular spot in the video to go to. But there's some details in there of ways that election fraud can be committed, and my point is that your due diligence is not accomplished by merely demanding proof that this happens. You are now responsible to make sure it doesn't happen, regardless of whether you deem you've seen proof or not. It's whether it can happen. And the video is indicating that it did.
That's your time, thank you.
Your straps on.
Good catch there. Is there anyone else present wishing to speak during public comment today? Seeing none, we will close public comment.
Item 7, announcements. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold a staff meeting on Thursday, November 2nd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building. Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold its regular meeting on Tuesday, November 7th, 2023 at 9 a.m. with the Board of Equalization immediately following in room 112 of the County City Building. County Commissioners can be reached at 402-441-7447 or commish@lancaster.ne.gov. Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting is broadcast live on LNK TV. LNK TV is available at Allo Channel 2 and Spectrum Channel 1300. For the rebroadcast schedule, visit lincoln.ne.gov. Meetings are also streamed live on YouTube and Facebook. LNK TV apps are available on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Item 8 is adjournment.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Please call the roll.
Schulte,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes.
Vest,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.